Good day, I'm Monica Bester from SAIL International, the leading learning and development facilitator. Today I'll just be showing you how to process VAT on free agent transactions in your bank account. What we come across often is that the VAT treatment of entries have just been left as auto on free agent instead of actually being processed correctly to the applicable VAT rate. So I'll just be showing you how to change that and taking you through the steps shortly. We are currently in our demo company used for training purposes. So under our bank account, then we have this bank account that's a good example. You would notice under the unexplained, I've just selected all time periods. So we can just see everything in one screen. Right. Generally, you would have more detail than a question mark and an amount, especially if your bank is linked in FreeAgent. As I said, this is just a demo company, so there's not a lot of detail pulling through to this company. But for all intents and purposes, you would know that this money that went out of your bank account, let's say it is accommodation and meals, right? So we have our accommodation and meals, and then you would see when you process, your VAT rate is automatically indicated as auto. Right. You'll notice this on all of the items, VAT rate automatically auto. Okay. So we can change this as we need to and as applicable. So if this was accommodation and meals, we're leaving it at auto, or we can change it to 20%. We know we can claim that there. Okay. Let's take the next one. Let's say this is also a payment. Our VAT rate, as I mentioned, automatically on auto. Now, when you choose your account, you'll see this is normally VATable, and you have some admin expenses that say normally zero rated, right? Let's just say this was bank charges, okay? So you can also leave that as auto and see how it treats the VAT, right? So on auto, you see here it says includes VAT, right? We left this on auto and it does not have a VAT portion included. So that was treated correctly by FreeAgent, right? But you can also change this to 0%, exempt, or out of scope if you notice that FreeAgent is not treating something correctly, right? For something like bank charges, FreeAgent would generally, especially if you see it has selected one of these accounts, normally zero rated, that's how it's going to treat it. Just something to be aware of when you add a account, an income or expense account manually, just to make sure when you process to that account that it is treating the VAT correctly. Obviously, if that account has been set up as 0%, but actually 20% is deductible, that's something that you just need to change and look into. There are certain suppliers or even certain transactions that you have the supporting documentation for, and you notice on the slip there's no VAT or there's a strange VAT element, just to come in and change the VAT as needed. Right. If this is an invoice receipt, you can obviously indicate it as such. The VAT element would then align with how the invoice was made out. So just to show you quickly, bills and invoices. I'm just opening up that. Invoices, just to quickly show you an example. This is the invoice that the client made out, that the company made out to a client, and you'd notice the VAT rate was correctly treated here. Right. So when you invoice, just make sure your VAT is also treated correctly, because when you allocate your receipt to that invoice, that is what would pull through, is the VAT treatment from the invoice. And the same with bills. Let's just view this one. You would notice as well, here we go, accommodation, meals, business, entertainment, travel, and the VAT rate has been taken care of on this bill. Right. So when you process your invoices and bills, once again, make sure you're happy with the VAT rate you choose and not to just leave that as auto. If you're unsure about the VAT rate that's applicable, or you have any specific VAT queries, you're wondering how a specific transaction, how the VAT is impacted, do feel free to reach out to us so we can see how we can assist you in that regard. Thank you for watching, and we hope to see you soon in another training session.